The U.S. and Iran may be moving closer to formal talks to end the conflict. President Trump again insisted today that members of his administration, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, are already engaged in negotiations with Iran. He also reiterated the claim that Iran has already agreed to never have a nuclear weapon. Iran has denied that formal talks are underway, but confirmed yesterday it received a message through mediators as a precursor to negotiations. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins me now. Ed, the president spoke earlier in the Oval Office. Did we learn anything new about the conflict with Iran and the possible talks happening?
We did, because he suggested again, Nicole, that those talks are indeed underway. Wouldn't really get into the specifics of who exactly they're speaking with, but suggested that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, his top envoy, Steve Witkoff, the vice president, the secretary of state, and eventually the president himself would be involved in the conversations. And he broke a little news regarding a signal they got from Iran. Take a listen to some of our exchange with them earlier in the Oval Office.
Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Well, then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money.
What that present is not yet clear. In a follow-up question from our own Jennifer Jacobs, he suggested it has something to do with oil and gas and the Strait of Hormuz. We're still trying to learn more about what exactly it might have been, whether it was something physical, whether it was some kind of control of either part of the strait or some element of oil shipping that is being attempted to occur there through the strait. We'll wait and see if we learn more. Of course, it may not be much of anything, really, other than the president perhaps just suggesting that there is some sense of progress. So as far as he's concerned, the negotiations are progressing, and this comes as several other countries in the region have now expressed a willingness to help make them happen.
And one of those countries being Pakistan, which has now offered to mediate talks. Is the president on board? And do we have any sense of when more formal talks could occur?
Well, he did retruth or retweet or post a statement from the Pakistani government essentially saying that they're willing to host those talks should the president and Iran decide to move forward with them. Remember, Pakistan is another nuclear power in the region to Iran's east, so further into Asia, and obviously is concerned about the situation as well, given it's also a nuclear power and another predominantly Muslim country that has had relations with Iran. So it, along with Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the other Gulf countries, and Turkey especially, given its border with Iran, have been involved, have been in touch with the United States, trying to get these sides to talk and to try to ease hostilities. Whether or not they get serious, whether or not senior U.S. officials get deployed to the region for conversations will remain, we'll keep watch for that. And he again refused, Nicole, to specify who exactly it is he's speaking with in the government, because as he pointed out correctly, they killed the top leadership, they killed the next rung of leadership, but whoever it is, he says, he signaled again today, is someone that they trust and that they're engaging with.
All right. Ed O'Keefe, thank you so much. CBS News national security contributor Joe Zacks joins me now. He is also the former Deputy Assistant Director of the CIA for Counterterrorism and currently serves as an adjunct fellow for the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Good to have you with us, Joe. You know, what do you make of these potential talks, and do you think a deal is possible within the next couple of days?
Well, thank you, Nicole. I think it's a very positive development that is currently underway. I think it's certainly a sincere development on the United States side. And I suspect that the Iranian regime is very interested in exploring all possibilities with respect to negotiations, although I don't expect them to publicly acknowledge this anytime soon. However, I would also caution that the Iranians are tough negotiators and that this could take time, could take a bit of time, especially since the United States wants to come out and should want to come out ahead and in a strong position in these negotiations. So I think it will be important to keep up the military campaign minus perhaps any attacks on Iranian infrastructure, because I think that could be quite destabilizing to the Gulf partners in the region. So not attacking necessarily Iranian power plants or other infrastructure, I think we can still continue to prosecute the targets that we have and maintain an upper hand in negotiations with Iranians without further destabilizing or destabilizing the Gulf region.
Yeah, but I think to that point, since you said these talks could take a while, do you think the president is willing to extend this 5-day period, if you will, this pause on strikes on Iranian power plants in order to try to keep these negotiations going?
Clearly, his extending or not extending this 5-day pause on Iranian power plants is his decision to make. But in answer to your question, I would think he could easily extend that, especially if he senses that the Iranians are negotiating in good faith and that there's traction. And it'll be curious to find out, which I'm sure we will in the next few days, what exactly the president was referring to with respect to the Iranian presence, so to speak, that they offered.
Yeah, and to Ed's point, not just on the mystery president, but also on this issue of who the U.S. may be negotiating with here, because I think the president earlier this week would only say it's a top person. But what more do we know about the current state of Iran's leadership and who the U.S. might be talking to at this stage?
Well, it seems like the conventional wisdom is that it may be the Speaker of the Iranian parliament. That's certainly a possibility. And he's comes from essentially a hardline faction of the Iranian regime. But that may not be a bad thing, because he would have credibility and a position from which to negotiate with a hardline government. There could be others. I think time will tell, and I think it may even be better not to speculate too terribly much, so as not to put undue pressure on the Iranian regime to negotiate in good faith.
Well, Joe Zacks, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your expertise and analysis.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.